the Battle of Crecy took place in 1346, 11 years after the start of the 100 Years' War against France, in which the Plantagenets asserted their claim to the French throne and extended their territory there. King Edward III of England led an army of 2,000 armoured men-at-arms, 7,000 longbowmen, 3,000 mounted archers, and 2,000 spearmen. King Philip VI of France led a massive but disorganised army consisting of 10,000 mounted men-at-arms, 6,000 Genoese crossbowmen, and about 10,000 infantry. Edward was fighting for the French crown, which he believed he should have inherited from Charles IV instead of Philip VI, as Edward was his closest relation. After a failed attempt to march towards the French capital Paris, Edward's army was chased away by Philip's. The army took camp and prepared for battle near the town of Crecy, where they waited to face the pursuing French army.
The Battle of Crecy took place on August the 26th of 1346. The English, having camped on the hill near Crecy, were well rested. In the morning, as well as having the high ground, they prepared many defences, including stakes and ditches in the ground. King Edward and his son, Edward the Black Prince, were experts at using the terrain to their advantage. The army was positioned on the hill in a V formation, with the dismounted knights at the front and the archers behind. The French army reached the hill with 10,000 mounted French knights positioned behind 6,000 Genoese crossbowmen. The Genoese crossbowmen were the first to attack, but after the storm in the night, their crossbow strings had slackened and could not fire well, whereas the English longbowmen had removed the bowstrings and stored them in their water-resistant caps.
The Genoese shot many bolts at the English, but they were too far away and the bolts did not reach them. Then in return the English archers shot many devastating volleys of arrows at the crossbowmen, who fled broken from the battlefield. In disgust, King Philip ordered his mounted knights to charge up the hill before the Genoese crossbowmen had left the field, crushing them down under their horses. When the knights reached the top of the hill, the stakes and other defences stopped the knights from reaching the archers, who shot them down. Philip ordered them to charge again, but they were shot down by the longbowmen again and again, until their bodies piled up in mounds in front of the English. After losing over 1,000 men, Philip ordered a retreat.
At the end of the battle, Edward's troops counted the dead. According to Geoffrey Le Baker, 1,542 men on Philip's side lay dead, including the cream of the French aristocracy. On the side of the English, the amount of deaths was probably between 80 and 300. All this from an army composed mainly of commoners. This was the day of the infantryman and the longbow. The victory stunned the whole of Europe and would go down in history.